All right, welcome to Powered by Authenticity. Tonight is such an interesting topic to me, and I am really looking forward to this conversation. When I did the prep call with Sergeant Collins, I just walked away thinking, oh my gosh, such opportunity for our younger kids to join the workforce and be a part of something that's making a difference. So tonight on Powered by Authenticity, I'm so pleased to welcome Sergeant Justin Collins with the Rochester Police Department. Sergeant Collins, welcome.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and you came out to Batavia.
Love coming out to Batavia.
Love it. So we want to also give a shout out to Romans. They're hosting us tonight.
And this is a spot I have not come before, so I'm definitely going to check it out in the future. It smells delicious here.
I know, it's a problem. Well, right out of the bat, is it okay if I call you Justin?
Yes, it is.
All right, well, thank you for that. All right, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from, family?
So originally from South Buffalo, New York. Huge family there, Seneca Street area, South Buffalo, New York. Love it. That's where I was born and raised.
Nice.
My family migrated towards West Seneca and the South Towns, Hamburg, Orchard Park. So I have a lot of family there still. I get home quite a lot. That's what I call my original home. But I've been in Rochester for the last 23 years. Both my children were born there, so that is home to me now.
Yeah, that's great. So 2 kids.
2 kids. Yep, I got a 15-year-old and a 2-year-old.
Oh,
big
you
gap.
did what I did.
Yeah?
I've got producer Ken, and then I've got one who's 20.
There you go. Yeah, so no, it's fantastic. I love being a father so much. I went and did it after all that time and did it again. And my wife is amazing. And we just got 2 great kids. And it's just, parenthood is an awesome opportunity. It's a gift.
It is.
And, it's the most important role that I'll ever have. And that, I feel very honored and grateful to have 2 great kids.
Oh, well, that's great. Well, congratulations on that 2-year-old.
Oh, yeah.
You're tired for a couple different reasons.
You ain't kidding. He keeps me accountable every day. He's all about it. He's very aware of what's going on. A great kid. Biggest fan right now is my little 2-year-old. I love that guy.
I love it. Awesome. Well, we like to do a little icebreaker here. As you can see, we like food.
Oh, yeah, too. So I feel great. This is great.
All right. Well, so where are you heading in Rochester for wings?
Where would be the best places?
Yeah.
Well, I'm the person to ask about that, so that's pretty awesome.
All right.
So, they shift from time to time. Obviously, Bar Bill having a location there now. Just was there last night with my older son. It's fantastic. But we're talking about just Rochester place. The Penfield Poorhouse is probably it's probably 1A.
Okay.
And a very close second would be McGregor's and Gates.
Oh.
Those wings right there are pretty close to perfect.
Awesome.
So fantastic. I would recommend grilled barbecue chicken wings or grilled. They grill all their wings. They deep fry them and then they grill them.
Oh.
That's a very Buffalo thing.
That's
Picasso's was known to do that as well. But they're fantastic wings. And Penfield Poorhouse and then McGregor's and Gates are top-notch wings.
All right. Now, are you traditional hot sauce? Like, what are you going in for?
I mean, I can do, I don't go real hot. I go medium.
Perfect.
But I just like when they deep fry them and then they char them a little bit.
Love it.
And that is something I'm used to eating. And if you do that, I'm coming in to check your wings out for sure.
Awesome. Hey, producer Ken, where are you going in Rochester?
So when you mentioned the poorhouse, it's a great spot.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably one of my favorite in Rochester.
Love it.
And then Jeremiah's would be a good second.
Very good too. Very good as well.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I like all those now. I haven't been in a while, but Timothy Patrick's used to have really good wings.
I've never checked. That's one I'll have to write down
Yeah.
after, check out. I go on a little tour every now and then.
All right.
I'm a big wing aficionado.
Well, let us know. We'll come with you.
Fantastic. I've always liked the company.
Sold. Well, thanks for doing that. We like to get to know people on a personal level. We think food is one of the great connectors that
For
we
sure.
have sitting and breaking bread together. So, all right, how about, how'd you like to share a little bit about the work that you're doing under the recruitment and workforce development team for the Rochester Police Department?
So I've got a great group of people, great group of men and women that are, I got officers, civilian employees, probably about 20 of them that are out there doing work every day. My staff is awesome. And they're really doing important work because they're finding the future leaders that will serve in public safety in Rochester, an important job. Things have changed much than when I started my career 22 years ago. Things have changed tremendously. And, how we recruit, how we develop people, things have changed, the types of people that are attracted to this job. So we really want to make sure we get it right. We're looking for honest, mature, consistent, emotionally intelligent people. And, you know, in the past, people would come to us. Now we have to go out there and find them and develop them. And it's a new challenge, but it's one challenge. It's a challenge that my team and I, willingly accept, and we're having some real good luck with it.
That's awesome. So you're going out and do you go to like the school systems?
So really, we do it's a different approach. We go to military bases. We do a lot at colleges, and we do a lot on social media. And then also, too, we do a lot internally to try to incentivize officers to refer their family, friends, and neighbors. But then beyond that, long term, we talked a little bit about this before, but, in the past, we relied on a lot of outside institutions to find young people, get them interested in our professions, whatever it was, nursing, policing, doctors, whatever. And then they would make it all the way to the end, and then there would just be thousands of people outside your door, and you'd hire them. We know that we cannot solely rely on that anymore, and we have to start getting into the business of growing our own. And, again, when I started this career 22 years ago now, people would have rolled to grow your own. People were just there. Why would we need to do that?
Right.
But when I say grow your own, we need to be intentional about how we're doing it. It can't just be a box check. It has to be genuine, because kids have a tremendous radar for when you're full of crap.
Oh,
they just do.
They do.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Or if
They
you're
can
just
call you right out on
going
it.
for the motions, they'll either call you out or they just won't come back.
Yeah.
And it's too important of a job that we're doing in the community right now, and the responsibility that we have, and the power that we have to make sure that we're getting it right. And if we want to have a return to where we have a lot of people that are interested and we have our pick of it, we've got to start being intentional, because there are still a lot of people who want to do this job. But from the time they're 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, they're getting pulled in other directions.
Yeah.
And there's other opportunities and options. This career is a tremendous opportunity to connect the community. It's been absolutely awesome. It's a noble profession. I wouldn't want to do anything else.
Yeah.
And I just want more people to be exposed to that.
Yeah.
There's not a day I wish I'd done anything else but what I'm doing right now. And I know I met some young people today at a school that were 15. And this kid, the way he acted at 15, never in my wildest dreams would I have been as mature as this young person was. It's the smile on this kid's face, the shaking hands. I was like, wow. I said, you must be like one of a bunch of older brothers, or maybe you're the oldest and you're taking care. No, I'm an only child. I was like, oh, wow. I said, well, you are ready for it. He wanted to be a police officer. So I think there's more of those kids out there, but we lose them.
Yeah.
What we're doing now, when I say getting into the business of growing our own, is we're bringing them into our Explorer post. Explorers, you might have heard of that before.
Yep.
People have those. In my department, that was like a vanity item or like a luxury or like a PR thing years ago.
Yep.
We haven't had a post in a very long time. It's no longer a PR item or a luxury. It's a necessity.
Has to happen.
If we're going to get out of this staffing crisis, and public safety is in a massive staffing crisis, we have to be intentional and grow our own and really spend time. It's not a burden. My staff knows it's not a burden to have these young people. It's a gift.
Yeah.
We've got about a post right now with 25. I've got 60 applications.
Wow.
Which is beautiful.
That's
so we have to
amazing.
get it right. We get those folks in there anywhere from 14 to 18 and keep encouraging them and exposing them to cool things, not just talking to them in a classroom for 5 hours. Exposing them to cool things, getting them, because we know in this era now, you have access to all these things.
Yeah.
TikTok, you're watching everything.
Everything.
So if you're just going to go womp like the Charlie Brown teacher
Yes.
for 4 hours, you're not going to come back.
No, you're not.
So you've got to be, hey, we got to step up. We were doing traffic stops last week. And this is maybe month 4, and the kids are out there stopping. They're not driving the cars, but they're with the officer stepping out. We're explaining to them how we do things, and that was really awesome to them.
That's
they're like,
cool.
Wow. And we've got to accelerate things a little safely, but we've got to accelerate to keep people interested. And I think it helps the candle burn brighter. So for this young man that I met today, who I invited to join my team, and he comes into something like that, he's going to be like, wow, this is kind of this is that much closer. Mm-hmm. So it's things like that. And then we have a teen academy starting in August. And again, it's like a police academy for teens. Yeah. But it's intense. It's not baby stuff. It's got to be a little more grittier, because these kids want something real that can get to them emotionally.
Yeah, so a couple of things there. One is, I do think they want that, because they first of all they see it out on social platforms, and they want to know what it actually feels like to be in that. And the other thing that you said there is that these kids in that age group have so much pressure being put upon them to to figure it out. And that's
It's
a
a lot.
lot to
It is
put
a lot.
on somebody at the age of 17. Go figure out the rest of your life and spend $300,000 doing
yeah.
it. And don't worry, it'll all figure itself
Right,
out.
and we know it doesn't always work out like that,
Right,
because then you're
yeah.
kind of stuck with all this debt. You know, some people, college is for them, and they know
Yeah.
they need to do it,
Yeah.
but it isn't for everyone.
Yeah.
And, you know, for me, I went to a two-year college because I wanted to. I didn't need to become a Rochester police officer. And I think, as I told you, I had no plans to go back. And
Yeah.
then in 2021, I decided it was time. Went back got my bachelor's in business management from Roberts Wesleyan, and then just recently I finished up my master's in law enforcement public safety leadership from the University of San Diego. But that was after
Amazing.
18 years of
Yeah.
not going to school, but I knew it was time.
Yeah.
But I didn't have to do it, but I knew it was time. And for young people, give them an opportunity to start making money, get them into a career, and then if they decide they want to do college, that option's there for them.
Yeah, I love that. I'll share that. And I think I told you when we connected the first time is that my niece is one of the youngest Genesee County
I know, you
sheriffs
told me that.
ever.
It's awesome.
You know, she went to school she started college, went down the route, and she's like, I want to do what my dad did. And my nephew is not even 50 and has retired from the police force and is starting a second career.
Yep.
But he has nothing but gratitude for what he was able to experience. And I have to tell you, when I see my niece going around town in her uniform, there is nothing but pride
Oh, yeah.
that I
can
feel
imagine.
when I
It'd be
see
amazing.
that.
It'd be amazing. Yep. Shout out to her for choosing this career.
Yeah.
That's pretty incredible. Yeah, I mean, when you're in something like this, it takes over you emotionally, because
Yeah.
you know you are putting your life on the line for strangers, and
Yeah.
you're willing to help people that you don't know in very difficult situations. No one calls us when the party's happening.
Yep.
They call us when things are terrible, and we're there to kind of hopefully navigate through conflict and
Yeah.
give people resources. And you know, it's an awesome, again, the most noble profession. It's amazing that in 2026 we're talking about men and women that will voluntarily take a career doing this. And I think
Yeah.
there's a lot to be said about those people. Just like people who serve our country in the military.
Yeah.
It's pretty incredible. And they're not getting drafted. They're choosing to go
Yeah.
there, which
Yeah.
is awesome.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and we've talked to some of the veterans, and it's just what they walk away with. I mean, the leadership skills, and it's the same thing with the police
Yep.
force, I'm sure, because
It is.
you're every day having to take control of a situation that you don't know what you're walking into when you get out of your.
Totally.
If I'm accurate with
That's
that.
100% correct, and you're right. The leadership skills that people will learn, whether you're a formal leader or just working as a police officer, you are being asked to make some incredible decisions, and serious conflict. Stress management is unreal, and you're making very quick decisions and really resolving conflict, calming situations down, mediating, again, de-escalating systems and stuff that really is huge in many different workplaces. I can't think of
Yeah.
a workplace where those skills aren't paramount.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, when someone does transition out of this industry, and if they decide after 20 years to retire, wherever they go, it's probably going to be less stress than where they were working in law enforcement. So
Yeah.
it's retirement,
Yeah.
but you have very valuable skills that you've learned under pressure.
Yeah.
We see it all the time. Just in my department, the amount of people that have gone on to become chiefs and go on to become sheriffs and other executive
Yeah.
leadership roles from the time of them spending working at RPD, or even running non-for-profits or becoming elected officials.
Yeah.
Lots of leadership skills learned, starting their own business or working in corporate America,
Yep.
all from being in this 20-year leadership. Yeah, so.
Yeah, I from the entrepreneur perspective, I can tell you, I always say you have to be gritty, and I'm sure you walk away from this role of being gritty.
Oh, yeah. Gotta do it. Oh, yeah, that's the truth.
Well, you talked and touched upon staffing shortages. How is that impacting our local community right now? What are we looking at?
So staffing shortages, I can speak to the Rochester Police Department.
Yeah,
But
please.
before I do, the staffing shortages are across the country. I mean,
Yeah.
public safety, law enforcement is down significantly. We're just not seeing the interest. And there's various reasons
Yeah.
why that is.
Yep.
But the fact is that it is.
Yeah.
So we need to figure out ways to be creative and there's restructuring, and in our department we've restructured some things, we've tweaked some things, but the biggest thing that staffing shortages can affect is how service is delivered.
Yeah.
Someone's calling for a burglar report, they may have to wait longer, an accident report, and these are important services that police departments provide. So we obviously don't want people to have to wait for serious stuff, you know, and obviously really anything. If you're calling 911, that's what your tax dollars pay for.
Yeah.
So we want to get our folks out there. When you're down, we're down a significant amount of people right now. For our department, we're down a little over 100 people.
Whoa,
so
really?
we're supposed to have 700, a little over 700. So that will, it's not that we're not getting academy classes, it's that people are retiring after 20 quicker than we can get them on.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's where I go back to, we can continue to keep doing the same thing and get what we get when we do a campaign and get people in and try to retain people. But when people want to leave, they want to leave. Like I get asked all the time, you've got over 20 years, why don't you leave? I still love the city of Rochester.
Yeah.
I do. I love this police department. And, you know, I prayed on it a lot for the opportunity that I got. And I promised when I got this opportunity to God that I would do everything I could to help. And I still feel like I have work to be done. I love to lead. And I love the position that I've been put in, and I want to do more. So it's hard for me to leave. But going back to people leaving, people know when it's their time to leave. And that's okay. But how are we going to fix this? And the answer really, if you're a sports fan, which I think you're a Bills fan.
I am, go Bills.
Yeah, I'm a huge Sabres fan as well. You probably figured that. But how like sports teams like the Sabres and just in general, it's built through the draft.
Yeah.
And it's built through time and intentionally trying to build. And policing's never had to operate like this.
Yep.
But this is where this youth movement is super important. It's not going to be the immediate fix.
Yep.
But once you've got your pipeline built and you have Explorer posts with 100+ people that are consistently engaged for 4 years.
Yeah.
And you've got, you know, your teen academy with a waiting list, and it continues to grow. And you've got, you know, we have a workforce development program with a couple, like 200 people, and they're all adults, 19 to 42 years old, all waiting for their opportunity to get hired. So our adult stuff is rocking. But once we get the youth thing rocking, what it's going to do is create like a reverse waterfall. So right now we have a waterfall of people leaving.
Yep.
But once we've invested money, time, and real genuine interest in these candidates, they're going to be pushing their way in.
That's great. That's amazing. So kind of tell us, what is a day in the life of a police officer?
So your typical police officer will, you know, depending on the shift they work, which is we have second platoon, which is our day shift, or third platoon, which is afternoons. Typically new officers start on third or first, which is overnights. But a typical day is, you go to roll call, you learn about crime patterns that are happening in different areas of the side of the part of town that you work, and then you will go out and get your police vehicle, and then you'll start your shift. Officers typically work with people in their area that they're partners. So there might be 1 or 2 people they're consistently working.
Yeah.
And you'll open up your car computer, you'll take a look at what calls are holding. Priorities are typically referred to as A jobs, and then you'll have B jobs. B jobs are typically reports.
Okay.
An A job could be, you know, a violent domestic, or something that might get violent, or certain parties there, you know, in progress burglaries, things even more violent, a shooting, a stabbing. And you'll look to see what's holding, what's been holding the longest, and then you'll go and you'll start to work in your car beat to help clear up some of these calls. When you're down staffing, you're going to have more calls holding from the previous shift. But yeah, you really try to go out there, clear up the calls, deliver service, and then while you have every intention of going to A, B, and C jobs, another call will come in that's a priority call, which diverts you, and then you got to go to where that is. So it's a lot of managing your time, juggling things, multitasking, and then at the same time you have to keep your head on a swivel, because when you're in this uniform, believe it or not, there's some people who do not like the police. So that opens up doors for things that you got to be very aware of to protect yourself and the people that you're working with.
Yeah, that's got to be hard when you're in the community and you have, first of all, you've got that overload of cases waiting to be taken care of. It doesn't. It's not like what it looks like on TV.
No. The thing they think that TV and Netflix do a terrible job of advertising what we do, because they make everything happen so quickly. Like an officer if God forbid is in a shooting, an officer involved shooting.
Yeah.
They make it like it took like a half hour, and then they're back out there laughing with their buddies, and they're back to work. And that's just not the case. I mean,
Yeah.
anytime someone is involved, and we've recently been touched by a lot of violence. We've had 4 officers shot in a very small span of time.
Yeah.
That's a traumatic, life-changing experience.
Yeah.
It's not something that just, oh, well, no big deal.
Yeah.
And then all those officers did incredible, and they're recovering, and they responded correctly. But yeah, TV, although, it used to be a great advertisement for us, now everything is like a tiny little swab can be used to pick up, this piece of evidence. And while there is some of that stuff, it's not how TV portrays it.
Right.
So people expect that, and
Yeah.
that's just not reality.
To that though, the emotional drain that has to happen across the entire Rochester Police Department when those officers are shot.
Totally.
Like, how is your training younger team members when they're coming in?
Yep.
How do you teach them to deal with the emotional aspects of the role?
Sure. So right off the bat, being very upfront and transparent. Again, I go
Yeah.
back to, and I think I have a leg up here because I have a 15-year-old. So I
Yeah.
know what I could get away with, pretending I didn't know when I was 15.
Yeah.
These kids have access to so much stuff. Even if you work on them not getting it, they're still going to get it.
Good, yeah.
Because of all the information that's available. So
Yeah.
being very transparent with this group of young people about, what occurred, the dangers of the job, but ultimately understanding that someone has to do these jobs in this community.
Yeah.
And, from my perspective, while I went back to saying I could never have done anything else, it's just what I always wanted to do. And there was never a day where I'm like, I wish I could have done this or wish I could have done that, because the amount of people that you can help every day, you will lose count of it.
Yeah.
You are a symbol of hope in the worst possible situations.
Yeah.
And they stack up, and the amount of kids that you've helped and adults that you've helped and people that are being battered women and just in general, people who are vulnerable. You are the only thing standing in between them and complete chaos. And again, this isn't manufactured. This is what happens. As we are sitting here right now, there are people in this county and there are people in the county that I work doing these things in abundance. So the days fly by. And the leadership and the experience and the people that you meet and the satisfaction you get from helping far outweighs anything else that occurs. So you always got to keep that in mind when a tragedy happens. You said, how do you just be upfront with them that these dangers can happen. We have some exceptional training in our department and how to respond. And I think that showed in these last few incidents how the officers responded. But what's really wild, and it always gets missed, while those officers are recovering, there are still officers that were at that scene and in the rest of the city taking 911 calls while people that they know were shot. People they care about were shot. And they're still not only that night or that day working, delivering high quality service, but the next day.
Yeah.
So, while it may not be the officers that have been injured that are recovering, it's still all your peers and the loved ones that are home that are like, wow, such and such got shot. Is this going to be my relative? So those dangers happen and those fears are there, but it's something you're trained to deal with. We do have a wellness unit that works really hard to help officers when they're involved in situations, not only when it happens, but before and after. But again, this profession is needed.
Yeah.
It's noble. And you're prepared. You're paid and you are prepped for what you might have to do.
Yeah.
And that's something you always got to know when you go into this.
Yeah, absolutely. The other thing I want to turn it to the positives is that when you're in a situation like that and a police officer shows up, it's a beacon of hope.
100%.
You're going to be okay.
Yep. Yeah, and that's the truth. And what's wild is, there are factions and some people who maybe have not always trusted the police or had experience. I still had that experience with police. I still tell people that 911 is the number one number dialed in our state, in our country.
Yeah.
So someone's calling us. We know that everyone's calling us because when things are terrible, they're there. And you're right, it is that beacon of hope. People call 911 and then people stop acting trying to hurt people, or they run away, or they just give up, and that's important because if public safety was not there to keep order, it would be lawlessness.
Yeah.
And this isn't what I think would happen. This is what would happen.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think about moments where I've been, I'm a runner. And I have to say there was time where I did not like to run outside after a lot, like last year there were several incidents.
Yep.
And so I've just gotten to the point now, because I feel like the city of Batavia has done a really great job at changing the routes. So when I'm out there, I always see a city police car.
That's awesome.
And for me, it just takes a level of relief off. Like I feel like I'm going to be safe.
Yep.
Because where I am, there's somebody always close to me that if I called 911, they would be here.
Yep. Police officers are prepared for what they will have to do. And I speak highly about a lot of the people in the city of Batavia.
Yeah.
These men and women here are dialed in.
Yeah.
And they know. So when they're out there, they're taking it very, very seriously, which is super important.
Yeah.
You know, this job is not for someone who isn't switched on and dialed in. And again, it goes back to that leadership thing. If you're going to spend 20 years doing that, you can imagine the experience that you're going to gain and the poise that you're going to gain, the confidence you're going to gain from being in those situations.
Yep. Yeah. They earned some cred today. There was, I guess, a very large something that happened in the city here.
Okay.
Yeah, so it happened to cross my my phone, and I was like, oh boy, I feel bad.
What was it, like a big fight? Or
It was
We're all around.
State Street area.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
But you know what, we have, and I'm sorry to divert here
No,
for a
no.
second, but we actually have a fairly high drug problem here in our little city, because we're in the middle of two larger
Oh,
cities.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I was aware. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
I think it was kind of always been like that.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of unavoidable with you being in the middle of two,
Yeah.
larger cities. Yeah, I mean, it's good to hear that you said they got some credit for doing a good job and
Yeah.
taking care of situations. You know, police work too, when people don't realize, it's not usually clean and easy looking. People
Yeah.
don't want to go to jail, so it's kind of messy. It's
Yeah.
never clean, you know. You handle things professionally. You do the best. You obviously use the amount of force that's necessary, and you don't want to go overboard.
Right.
But it's not usually super clean and easy, because people fight and don't want to go to jail.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just that's what it is. You know, if they were happy,
Yeah.
hey, turn around, put your hands out. Thank you. Doesn't usually go like that. Not typically. You know, but I want to say, we're talking about positive things.
Yeah.
I am so lucky to have such a great group of people that work for me that are so passionate. You can tell I'm passionate.
Yeah,
So
love
if you
it.
didn't have that type of energy, you probably would not want to be part of a team like mine.
Yeah.
But there was a guy, Officer Stevens, earlier today. I was finishing up some stuff at my desk, and I heard a little kid crying. It was at our police headquarters. And I was like, it was consistent. And he was out there with his mom. I think his mom was picking up some paperwork, and he was just really upset. I don't know what he was afraid of, but I think he was afraid of police, just
Yeah.
in general.
Yeah.
And I went out there with a little plastic badge, and I actually had a sport coat on, and I was in a professional
Yeah.
attire. He kind of forgot that I wasn't. I said, here, buddy. I asked his mom, could I give him this? And
Yeah.
he's still screaming. He did not want it for me. He probably thought, who's this high school teacher trying to hand me a little? So Officer Stevens, like I said, he saw what I was doing. He
Good.
came out. He brought a little teddy bear, got on one knee, and he gave it to this kid, and instantly he stopped crying.
Aw.
And he was sobbing.
Yeah.
And it's just things like that. You talk about the beacon of hope, and just got right on his level. And that is the direction. We have to be intentional about how we police.
Yeah.
And that is the direction that this industry has to go to. And there are officers doing that every day, but I
Yeah.
just wanted to mention him because I looked at him, I was like, I forgot I was wearing this. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But right off the bat, he saw him, he was like, and he handed him his little teddy bear, got down on one knee, and the little kid instantly stopped crying, he was smiling, and that is just really powerful. And it's important when you're wearing this, people stop. But what do you do when you got their intention? What do you do? What are you showing
Your
them?
action, yeah.
What is your actions?
Yeah.
And sometimes a teddy bear is possible.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hug. I've lost count the amount of times that myself or when I was a patrol officer went into scenes that were very violent, very tough. And when people got there, they hugged us.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we come in like, whoa, and then it's like, okay,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that's a natural reaction when there's danger and you know that you're going to be okay. And at that right there, that hug when someone's in danger, that genuine hug is worth $1 billion.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that's what you signed up for.
Yeah.
That's what you signed up for.
Absolutely. That's the authentic part of being a police officer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love that. So that's so sweet. How do you think we can further elevate just the need for people to join careers and services? I mean, to your point, there's such a shortage. What
Yeah.
else can we do?
I think that if you have a positive experience with police or fire or EMS, you should share it.
Yeah.
I think this goes for how we talk about our area too. I think if we're down on things, like if you're always complaining about how you don't like Rochester, you don't like the weather, you don't like Batavia, whatever,
Yeah.
That just breeds more discontent. And
Yeah.
we have some great stuff here. Great stuff.
We do.
Great food, great culture, great arts, great parks, so much great stuff. I want to say, dare I say, we have some great weather. What we don't have,
agree.
what we don't have is landslides, earthquakes,
Yeah.
hurricanes. I have a friend that moved down to Florida, and I will eventually live some of my time in Florida. I love Florida. But to live there, he moved down there, moved his whole family down there. And I was jealous. But within a year, they had a hurricane. He was holding on to his house. His kids were scared. And he said, in my whole life living in Rochester, I never had to deal with this.
Yeah.
I'm going back. He moved back.
Yeah.
Why would you? We are so much to be thankful for.
Yep.
We talk about the economy. Yeah, the economy in Buffalo and in Rochester, I'm sure in Batavia is not what it was, but we have an area that is ripe for what's next.
Yeah,
And whether
absolutely.
that's technology innovation, we got the land, we got the space, we got a lot of bright minds, great college institutions, universities.
Yeah.
If that's the direction I think we're going, we've got some great opportunities. We have a lot to be thankful for. How does that tie into public safety? Is if you know someone in the industry, thank them. If you had a great experience, share it on social media.
Yep.
Help combat the negativity.
Yep.
And the other thing is, if you know someone who would be an ideal candidate when they're young for a career in service, get them into one of these programs. I'm sure
Yeah.
the Batavia has an Explorer Post, or Genesee County has something. If you want to send them to Rochester, they can do both.
Yeah.
But just get someone, identify them young, and just to say when they start, when they're 14, doesn't mean they're going to end up becoming a police officer when
Right.
they're 20, 21,
Yeah.
but it might. We're showing them a lot of cool things.
Yeah.
As a 14-year-old me, if I got to do some of that stuff, I would have triple wanted to be in it.
Yeah.
Because we're really having to invest and be, really engaged. Even the people that I picked to be in this program, I mean, I got a lot of great advice, and I interviewed a lot of the officers that are involved and a couple of the sergeants that are helping, but they're perfect for it.
Yeah.
They care a lot, and the kids can see that. Be authentic.
Yeah.
Don't be, if you're fake, they pick up on it.
They do.
And it ruins things, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
tell them, go do something else in the police department. But I need people that really care and want to grow this young group. Again, this was a PR move or a vanity thing. Those days are done.
Yeah.
We need to grow, and we need to push young people into these service industries.
Yeah.
Not to mention the benefits for these jobs are incredible. When I do decide to retire, I'll get a pension. We have something called a deferred compensation, which is similar to a 401k, which is great. Our medical insurance. You will be more than comfortable when you retire. You've earned it, and you've
Yeah.
a dangerous job, but great benefits. My college was paid for by the city, which is great. Made it
Yeah.
easier to go back when I didn't have to pay for it, right?
Yeah,
Certainly
yeah,
did.
for sure.
So a lot of great benefits for young people. But at 20, you can start a brand new career if that's what like you mentioned that one of your relatives did, right? Started
Yeah.
moved on. So
Yeah.
lots of options. And never, I swear to you, never a dull day.
Yeah.
Never a dull day. And that's fun.
Yeah.
When the clock is constantly moving, you're like, I got to go home already? Because you're just going. I mean, that's, and then you'll start to love what you do. I don't know anyone who doesn't do this, who, if they're being really honest, didn't say they don't love what they do.
Yeah.
Because helping people and the feeling you get and the adrenaline you get from being that beacon of hope, as you said, is addicting.
Yeah.
And it's what kind of an imprint will you leave on this world when you're gone? Mm-hmm. And I can tell you that every police officer that's worked and been in this community has left a massive imprint that they will never be able to imagine.
That's beautiful. And I think, too, we were talking about it earlier, is that getting kids into a career, letting them, there's transferable skills. that
Totally.
if they do decide, to your point, leadership,
Yep.
keeping calm,
Yep.
all of these things and work ethic.
Yes.
You know?
One of the stuff that we teach, and again, it goes along with preparing candidates, whether it's our adult workforce development program, whether it's our Explorer Post, we talk about financial literacy.
Oh,
We
good
talk
point.
about public speaking. We teach sales. We teach a lot of things, that stuff you will gain that you can use in your own world,
Yeah.
and in the private world, if it's policing, if that's what you decide you don't want to do.
Yeah.
When I have not met a lot of people who didn't come in here into this department or in this industry and then left after a few years, but you always could.
Yeah.
But once you get into it, you really enjoy it. But what's great about it is, like a lot of the local jails, like Genesee County or our, Monroe County Jail, you can get into that profession when you're 18. So you can really get your feet wet and learn, earn a great paycheck. It's a career if you want to make it a career, or you can move to the road if that's what you want to do. Yeah. But you get right off the bat, put into something, and you get to learn. And I would say for people that don't know what they want to do, but they think they'd like to get into a career of service where they can, have a great career and make some money. I think that getting into, whether it's policing, whether it's the fire service, 911 dispatch, these are incredible careers, and you can just do some great things.
Yep. Our neighbors are 911 dispatchers.
Yeah.
One is retired, but it's actually kind of comforting to have them right next door too.
I'll tell you, people, you want to talk about people who go through a lot, they do.
Yeah.
They're constantly head on a swivel because they're ear listening. Are they missing something?
Right.
And they don't get a lot of credit, and because they're behind the scenes.
Yep.
And they're managing a lot, and dispatchers do. Shout out to dispatchers, and they know how I feel about them. But we talk about being a first responder. They're the first responder.
Yeah.
Because they're getting those 911 calls from frantic people, trying to make out what they're saying, trying to get accurate information to tell the officers, to tell the firefighters, to tell EMS, and it's a very dynamic job at multitasking to the highest level. Yep. A lot of stress, and then a lot of times too, dispatchers don't really know the end result, or they have to dig for how it turned out. Can you imagine being exposed to that and then not knowing, But they do great work, and I don't know a dispatcher who doesn't love their job. You know what I mean? So I think all these things, you recognize the value in the community, and they just become a love of yours.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, I love that so much. What else is there that we can do to make sure that our listeners know really about the work that you're doing, the community impact, and how can we help? How can the Powered by Authenticity team help?
Share more. I want to go back to it. Yeah. Share more positive experiences that you're having with the Genesee County Sheriffs, with the Batavia Police, with the Rochester Police, whoever they are. Yeah. Share those experiences. Doesn't even, if you don't know specifics, just share your experience. We have to start, and I went off on a tangent about the area, but we have to do more of breathing positivity into the world. Yeah. Negativity breeds more negativity. Yep. And we have a lot to be thankful for. Yeah. No matter what industry you work in. If you got up today and we're breathing, this is a positive. Yeah. And, I think police have a really good perspective because we meet a lot of people who are not in a good way and really don't have a lot to be thankful for. Yeah. We see it every day. So all of us, the fact that we can have this conversation, it's positive and it's a blessing. But share more positive stories. If you know a young person that's not sure what they want to do, but maybe might be good push them towards an Explorer post. The key for us to get out of this staffing crisis, the key for us to get policing into the 21st century, where it's customer service focused, because I'll be the first to tell you, policing doesn't make all the right decisions. We've had mistakes in the past. We've had hiring mistakes. We've had situations, like I can think of the situation that happened in Minneapolis with George Floyd. Yeah. There's things that have not gone well, right, that, have been tragedies. But to get better at something, you have to innovate. And innovation comes from the types of people that are getting into this industry and how we're vetting them and the process and developing systems to bring these young people in. So going back to your question, push people towards Explorer Post, push people towards teen academies. If nothing, to figure out that they don't want to do it. But I am pretty much guaranteeing that if you have a young person that's even remotely interested in service, once they get into that culture, it's infectious. You'll know right away if that's your path. Yeah. We've had our 30-something folks in our Explorer posts have been coming pretty consistently. We have not lost one.
Amazing.
And what's great is you're around people who will motivate you. These young people love it, and that's what you want. So push those young people to check out fire, to check out policing. Another thing too is, it's never been a better time financially to get into policing. Yeah. So it's there's that too. Yeah. Providing for your family. So there's lots of good wins in getting into this industry right now.
Yeah, that's amazing. And, it's so true. People are so quick to bring forward every negative story, every negative thought. But if we stopped for a second and put as much positivity into the world, as much love and caring and kindness, imagine what a difference the world would be.
Totally different.
Yeah.
It would be. you know?
Yeah.
And think of how you feel when you're happy versus we've all have days. I'm days where I'm not too happy.
Yeah.
You know, when my Sabres lost in overtime the other day, I wasn't too happy.
Oh, that was tragic.
It was tough. It was tough. Yeah. But we got another shot on Friday, but it was still
We'll be
tough.
there.
But awesome. But no, you know, just that positivity, that mindset, it's not hokey, it's real.
Yeah.
I mean, the human mind is incredible. And if we're positive and we breathe positive things into the air, more positive will come from that. When you're negative things keep happening. This is one of the things that my staff really tries to focus on with the young people, is that positive mindset. Because even in these folks' world, why do you want to be a police officer? That's stupid. And my aunt got a ticket once, and this one cop was super mean.
Yeah.
The biggest thing I can tell you is that, you know, just like there's people that shouldn't be doctors, there shouldn't be people that should not be police officers. They're in every industry.
100%.
If you don't like the way you were treated or you want to change something, get into that industry and fix it. Super easy.
Yeah, be the change
Be the
agent.
change, and it'll happen. I'm telling you. My department has changed so much in the past 23 years, and I think the biggest changes are coming, and I'm excited about the changes, to be honest.
Oh, that's so cool. All right. Will you come back as they evolve and keep us updated
For
on how
sure.
things are going?
Absolutely, would love to.
Oh, my gosh. Well, I just can't thank you enough for being here.
I'm so honored to be here. I think it's great.
I love this conversation. You know, thank you for being the beacon of hope. I think that, you know, often that can be forgotten about, but when you're in a situation and you need help, you know, to see those of you walking up in uniform just really, you know, it's going to be okay. There's a sense of calmness that helps. So thanks for being that.
For sure, you know how to reach me, 911. So there it is.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah, for sure. And you know, it's I just think that, again, looking at the career services, looking at a career of being in service is so important. And you know, I hope the school systems are out there supporting you guys as well as being options at career day.
They're starting to, and we
Perfect.
talk about schools, and all you need is a high school diploma
Yeah.
to get into this job. So that's one of the beauties about it. If you're not sure what you want to do, if you don't think college is for you, this career awaits you with a high school diploma or GED.
Yeah.
And there's been some people that have gone on to do that and gone on to become command staff, or they've gone on to go back to college. But the world is your oyster. You come out with a high school diploma, and you come in, you start, and then you grow from there. So
Yeah.
yeah, really good options. And the school system has been pretty supportive.
Awesome.
But we're looking to quadruple down our relationship, because I do believe the way to reverse this problem is through youth.
Yeah.
It just is.
Yeah, that
Cannot
makes-
rely on outside institutions solely anymore to bring us the future of our organization. We need to go after them, and we need to be intentional about how we develop them.
I love it. I love it. Anything we can do to support, because I wholeheartedly agree with you. I think that there's something there, and I think that our youth actually will benefit from being put into careers and gain some really important skills along the way that they can then take and transfer to anything they want to do in life.
100%.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for being here, Justin.
Thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh, I love this conversation so
Awesome,
much.
awesome.
Producer Ken, thanks for being here. And again, I want to shout out Romans hosting us tonight. We love the space that they give to us and let us come and hang out and record and have amazing conversations like we did this evening. So once again, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.